So this is the belt tensioner for the 99 Nissan Maxima, and I wanted to just show it in detail here. There's 3 bolts that attach it to the engine block, and these are the 3 bolts here, and these are 12 millimeter hex drives, and the bolts are overall about 20 millimeters long. There's 3 of them, like I say, and they have washers that are captive. And now we're going to look at the actual tensioning device here. It mounts vertically like this. So when you see it in the car, you're basically looking at the top here. This is how you adjust the tension of the alternator and air conditioner drive pulleys. And so if you wanted to take it apart and see how it works, it's basically got a slot here on the back, and this bolt is machined to slide up and down, and there's a series of spacers and washers here that when you tighten this nut on the front, it actually locks it into position just by clamping. And so when you want to adjust the pulley, you loosen this nut here, and that nut there, that's a 14 millimeter nut. So you don't have to take it off, you can just loosen it, and then you can see the tensioner is free. And it has how it works is there's this rod is threaded, and it pushes this down, and so when you thread this, basically a nut with a washer on the back, when you thread that, you can see it pushes the pulley downwards, and so you would turn it in that direction to force the tensioner against the belt to tighten it. And this fastener, this would be a 14 millimeter here socket that you would put on here, and you would not turn this unless you have this first. Otherwise you're probably going to strip this out or bend this rod. So I wanted to show you, I wanted to take this apart and take a look and see what's inside. Then the way you do it is there's just this one nut that we will remove here. And then there's this shield, basically. It's like a dust shield, and it also serves as a washer. Then on the back here, you can see there's another washer. And then you can lift off the pulley. And you can see on the back, the bearing is pressed in from the front here into this insert here. So you could change this bearing if you wanted to. And it's a good idea to spin it and listen to it, make sure it's not making any funny noises. Make sure it spins freely. And then getting down to it here, there's a spacer here that you can remove. And so I'll give you the dimension on the spacer. It's a 10.2 millimeter thick. And of course the ID is about a little over 12. OD is about 22. And basically that's a spacer to allow the pulley to ride up against, away from the bottom. And it also sits down inside and contacts with the bearing. So you can see it's contacting the actual bearing and not this pulley itself. So continuing on now, we can slide out this nut. There's also a washer on the bottom of this shaft here. And the nut's pretty interesting. It looks like it's very well made. It's got the slot here that's designed to ride in this slot here. And again, that slot, that's about a 12 millimeter slot, basically the same as the bolt. And now we get to this driver here, this part here. This will just simply come out, and you can take this off. It's reverse thread, you know, it's left-handed thread. So I'm spinning it clockwise and it's loosening. That's how you know. And it might be a good idea to give this a little oil, because this is supposed to be, you know, freely turning. And so I'm going to put it all back together now. Again, this is the bracket, and these bolts attach this bracket to the block, or the front timing cover. So to assemble this, I really like this design. It's pretty simple, but you do have to keep an eye on it. It's not self-tightening or anything like that. So you slide that up in there, and you can see the this lip here contacts the bottom, and that's what it's pushing against. So as you can see, it's got a weld here, so it's going to push with some force. Now I can put the washer on here. It goes underneath that, and the bolt with the slot goes in from the back, and that's a pretty nice detail. They've got it rounded over a little bit, pretty nice. So we've got that, and then we'll add in the spacer here. Then we can put on the pulley with the bearing assembly. And then again, there's this other washer, and this washer also acts as a spacer to contact the bearing and not the rotating assembly. And then next we'll put on this cover. It's the dust cover slash washer, and then the nut. And so you don't need to disassemble this to install it. As you can see, I can get all three of the bolts in on the front, and it won't fall out unless you totally unthread this. And I don't think it will even let you. Let's see if it will even let you. I think it's going to bottom out, which is a good design. Yes, I can see I've bottomed out against the slot here, and it won't go any further. So you can't turn it too much and make it fall out. It won't fall out on its own. So that's how you would service or check out this belt tensioner, make sure it's working properly. So the main thing is you want to make sure that it slides freely and smoothly. Make sure the pulley's spinning freely without any noise. And so that's a look at the belt tensioner. And here it says, it's got a sticker that says retighten after belt adjustment. I'm not sure what they're talking about, what you'd want to retighten. I don't know if I would tighten this and I guess snug that up, just to make sure it's all snugged up. But there you go, that's a look at the Nissan Maxima. This was out of a '99 Maxima, and this is the belt tensioner.